Welcome, everybody. It's really great to be here today for the regular webinar of EnviroRental. This is a special one today, as we have Mariah Rockman with us, who's the...
Γιατί εγώ περιμένω για το άλλο καλώδιο που έχει το
άλλο αμάξι. Put yourself on...
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. So if you could all just put yourself on mute, that would be really helpful. Thank you so much. So yeah, Mariah is the founder of Smiling House and EnviroRental. She's a serial entrepreneur and one of the leading lights in our industry of short-term rentals. Today, we're going to be hearing some amazing news about her plans for her businesses and what she's going to be doing to build them, to build in sustainability and to support you. So she's going to be taking the lead on this presentation in a moment. And after Mariah, I will speak and give some information about EnviroRental, our collaboration, and how we're going to be working together. The important thing is how we're going to be getting resources to you to help you build your business around sustainability and be more successful. But I will come to that in a moment. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Mariah, who will share her screen and take you through the presentation. I'll then go next, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. So welcome, Mariah, and over to you.
Thank you. So it's taking a bit of a moment to load my screen. I hope that you can see it already. You do?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm speaking to you today here from the Swiss Alps in beautiful Gstaad. And we're going to talk about how Smiling House Group is committed to sustainable hospitality. You all here because you have interest in that as people, as businesses, as hosts, and we are here to talk about what is our responsibilities and how can we take our way of being a good host also towards sustainability. So, oh, what's going on? Don't see, it's not moving. Yes, it is. So a little bit about us, the Smiling House Group. Smiling House Group is made out of 3 channels. One is probably more known to you, is the Smiling House. It's an OTA, an online travel agency of luxury vacation rentals around the globe. We are home to more than 9,000 properties in 52 countries and 300 destinations. We feature in unique chalets, villas, mansions, all these beautiful, beautiful properties that we see around the world, and we like to be in. Just to tell you, the fact that properties are luxurious doesn't mean that the budget needs to be luxurious as well, because most of the homes can gather 10 or 15 or even 20 people and can be even cost effective. So try it for yourself sometime. Our properties achieve a lot of unique bookings, much more than the average booking price in the industry of vacation rental. And that's it. We are self-fund, started about 8 years ago as a property manager up here in Gstaad with a 400-year-old chalet. Today, an OTA with now 9,000 properties, and about to launch our new OTA Villa Tracker by Smiling House, which is a new B2B platform for travel professionals around the world. Finally, creating the bridge between ourselves as property managers and STR industry, together with travel designers, concierge company, travel agents, and all kind of luxury clubs, to be able to book our vacation rentals worldwide, and to help them to discover us in the way that they like to work. And this new OTA is about to be integrated very, very soon with the leading PMS Guesty. And yeah, so this is me 2 years ago in the Shorties award, and I hope that to be in London again. I've been recognized as a thought leader and won the Shorties Pioneer Award of our industry in 2020, and Smiling House won it again in 2022. Like I said, I'm a co-founder of Smiling House Luxury, Triangle Luxury, and Villa Tracker, together with my husband, Ira Rockman. We are parents of 7 kids and 3 businesses, and I'm very, very happy that you join our journey today. So I saw in the beginning of the chat that we have listeners from all around the world. Maybe you recognize our footsteps also where you are. And if not, let us know. We'll be happy to open the world at once because we have no limitation. Wherever there's luxury, we're going through a due diligence and welcoming properties to join us. But how is all this have to do with sustainability, which is the topic of today? So here is our thought about it. We recognize from the kind of travelers we are hosting, a lot of them are high-end individuals, big families, group of friends, etc., that they are, they mind sustainability. They're not only looking for beautiful properties, and they mind for how the value of sustainability is part of their vacation. They would like to know that where they're staying, they are not wasting more energy, that maybe they can come to a property and, like in a hotel, they can drive there with their electric car, that maybe the pool is treated with not too much waste of water and with salt water that keeps longer and with this less chemicals, that the bedsheets, the towels, etc., are from natural sources, made out of materials that are natural to nature, and they looking for more fair trade products, more authenticity, all in all experience. And that's brought us to think, hey, how would we as a platform will help them recognize properties that have these components? How can they recognize and be sure to stay with host who cares about this kind of details, that are minded, that are responsible? So we took a big step towards technology, always a big road and bumpy road, and expensive one, which we see as part of our responsibility to introduce the eco-friendly collection. Bob will explain later why we call it eco-friendly collection and not the sustainable collection, together with a pet-friendly collection, family friends collection, and the event collection. But for us, the eco-friendly collection is the most important and the most complicated one to display. Why is that? It's because, and this is another thing that we'll talk widely after, we cannot just testify that our properties are more green than others or more eco-friendly than others. We need to be responsible and not to go or not to open ourselves to greenwashing by going through a process that is not an easy one necessarily, but it's important one, of accreditation. We really need to check how much the house, the property that you are managing, the hotel or whatever in hospitality, is really minding the different criteria that consider to be more eco-friendly, more sustainable. It has to do with the way that the house sometimes built and its facilities, and end up with all kind of real actions that the host can take about waste of plastic, using certain materials, saving lights or changing light bulbs. And Bob, I'm sure that will highlight the criteria much more after. And for us as an OTA, as a platform, it's important to recognize those companies who's giving this kind of criteria and accreditation, a name and certificate, and only those will be under the eco-friendly collection. So what is this eco-friendly collection? I just showed you how does it look. It highlights property which have earned and recognized sustainability accreditation, helps guests to quickly discover and book eco-friendly rentals as a value, and helping homeowners and property managers and guests to learn how to become more hospitable, sustainable hosts. And we help you to show and to learn about different amenities you can add, different activities you can bring into the house, and all kind of house rules that will make sure that your guests will have more sustainable stay. So Smiling House is pleased to review any type of sustainability accreditation or vacation rentals, or not necessarily of vacation rentals, but the one that also give vacation rentals a part within their accreditation. Homeowners and property managers are welcome to share their accreditation certificate that they got. Even if we don't know them for now, we'll be happy to be introduced and to, together with Bob in EnviroRental and Amit and the team, to evaluate the companies or the bodies that are standing in the head of this accreditation worldwide. The examples of accreditation certificates we accept already are the one of Kalia, of course, Conscience Luxury, Sustonica, and we already proud to be part of the Swiss Sustainable Committed program. So this is a very special case study that I'm happy to share with you. What does it mean to be a Swiss sustainable company? Smiling House become a member of this beautiful achievement of the Swiss tourism that promotes sustainable travel and encourage hosts and guests to experience local culture ways, consume regional products, plan longer stays, arrive and highlight about abilities to arrive to our properties with trains, buses, not necessarily with cars, encouraging any other kind of certification that provides the guidelines of host and guests, and actually promoting purely as a tourism in Switzerland, the companies that won this partnership, that won this collaboration, and have the badge of Swiss Sustainable. Switzerland, I don't know if you know, but Switzerland is leading for a lot of sustainable actions in many different fields of life, and we proud to be Swiss Sustainable company with sustainable properties, but also very, very proud to be here in Switzerland, where the way of life, the basic way of life, is keeping sustainable, and a lot of appreciation for nature, and preserving a lot of sources that are built in the way of the way that people living, the way that people are recycling, the way that people mind the society where they're living in. And I'm very proud to be part of that personally, also as a person. So we are committed to being sustainable host, like any of you joining here, and to run a sustainable property, to earn and correct accreditation to appear in the sustainable property search. We're working with EnviroRental, with Bob and Amit here today and their team, in one purpose only, and that's to create a community of knowledge, to share the knowledge that the huge knowledge that Bob have. And he won the shorties last year for this great knowledge and his activity in the vacation rental industry. He will share it with you as host and property managers, and guests will learn it the way that we will teach them. We are also part, as I said, of this program, and we are also encouraging other property managers from all around Switzerland, even if they are not part of Smiling House, to join this program. Now, in short, about how Villa Tracker going to take the same journey, we going to launch the same search also in a new platform of the B2B to C platform. That will allow 7 different industries to search and to offer sustainable homes, concierge companies, media production specialists, event managers, travel agencies and travel designers, retreats facilitator, and business incentive travel, like in HR, in companies. They all welcome to be able to choose within the beautiful collection that we'll have in Villa Tracker, also the properties that are more sustainable. Okay, so in general, what's in the future? The future is bright, as we always say, and we will continue to promote eco-friendly values of homeowners, property managers, and guests. We are developing very important guest feedback questionnaire that property managers will be able to share with their guests before and after the stay, so we can learn what's really important for our guests. What is the features or what kind of criteria they called luxury sustainable home, and by doing that we will enlarge the knowledge, we will enlarge and we give the feedback back to our beautiful industry community worldwide, together with Bob and EnviroRental. And last thing, as we have a baby platform that's called Triangle Luxury within our group. This is our sister brand. Also there, this is a platform that dedicated for properties that are for sale, vacation rentals that are for sale. And we want to highlight the same quality, even more so, even in the level of the house, that the way it's been built, starting from the pumps and from the energy source of the house, and continuing with solar panels on the roof, etc., to the eyes of the future investor of a vacation home. We believe that if we will highlight these great sustainable icons and information together with Bob, we will create new level of new homeowners that are more eco-friendly, they are more minded, and they will be for sure better hosts. That's it from me. We are committed to sustainability, and after Bob, I'll be happy to also to answer any of your questions.
Wow, thank you so much, Mariah. That's amazing. It was really great to hear and exciting to hear all your amazing plans around sustainability and eco-friendly in your group of companies. So I'm going to share my screen now and talk for just a few minutes about our collaboration, giving you some ideas, some tips, and giving you some thoughts to think about how you can build your business around sustainability. So let me just share my screen, and hopefully you can see that.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so I'm Bob Garner, the founder and CEO of EnviroRental, and we have formed a partnership with Mariah at Smiling House, and it's amazing to be able to work with excellent people who've really got a clear vision about what they want to achieve around sustainability. So this is a really exciting time for us. But let me explain a little bit about EnviroRental for those of you who haven't come across us. So we are the go-to hub, the one-stop free shop for sustainability. Everything you want to know about short-term rentals and sustainability, you will find at envirorental.earth. The idea is that I was running short-term rentals, and still am, for 20 years now here in Italy on a sustainable basis. And in trying to educate our community, it became clear to me that there was a blocker. People were struggling to know where to start and what to do. And so we've put all these resources around sustainability and short-term rentals and nothing else on our platform. And it's freely available for everybody. So we encourage you to get involved and look at our resources. My screen has just frozen because my internet is slow, so bear with me. There we go. Sorry, there may just be a little bit of a time lag. So these resources are for property managers and hosts, and we encourage you to explore the site and check everything out. I've briefly mentioned that this is a collaboration with Smiling House, and that's super important to us because Mariah and her team have got an amazing reach around the world, as you heard earlier. And so we've got a fantastic opportunity to spread the message and pass on our free resources to you. And we're going to be doing that on a regular basis through a number of different means. So I've talked about who I am and what EnviroRental is. So let's move on, if the screen will let me. So let me just speak briefly about the resources of EnviroRental. You can explore them for yourself, so do take a look and register. Everything is free on the site. The important thing is the core of the website is the roadmap. And this is where we've put together the key steps that we believe you could take and should take around eco-friendly and sustainability within your business. I'm not going to take you through them now, as it would take too long, but I would encourage you to go to the resources page and check out the roadmap. But additionally, we have lots of other resources. I'm just pulling them all up here on the website so that we do case studies regularly. So we find people who do amazing things around sustainability in our industry. And if you happen to be one of them, then please get in touch, because we'd love to do a case study based on you. But certainly, as Mariah and myself and the whole team start to educate you all, I'm sure that some of you amazing superstars around sustainability will come forward, and we'd love to promote you, because one of the things that we've learned at EnviroRental is that we need to give this material and this education out in different formats. Some people learn from webinars like this. Some people learn from reading a blog. Some people like to look at the survey data and the analysis and work it out for themselves. But lots of people like to see what other people are doing and think to themselves, well, if they're doing it, I could copy them. So I think case studies are really important. But you can see there the range of things that you'll find on the website and much more. And also we'll capture the industry news. So if there's anything going on around sustainability and short-term rentals, we will capture that and we'll put it there. So whenever you're trying to think about something connected to eco-friendly in our industry, just come to our website and you will find it there. If you don't, then of course, please get in touch. So why do we exist? Well, just a little bit of background here. Most of this is something that you'll be familiar with, but it was the motivation for starting EnviroRental. We needed to get the information out to our community, but we understand that there is a climate emergency. There is extreme weather taking place. It is starting to affect our industry and other industries around the world. The short-term rental industry is growing really quickly, but the majority of short-term rental owners have not yet taken action. Just a couple of key pieces of data you're probably familiar with. You'll understand that we are trying to keep global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius and get to net zero by 2050. We're already at 1.1 degrees as a permanent status. And in fact, even last year, we reached 1.5 degrees for 200 odd days of the year. So we are in a critical situation. And as an industry, like other industries, we need to start to take action. The advice that we're given by the International Panel on Climate Change is that we should all, every industry, every person, every business, every organization, be attempting to get our emissions down by 50%, our carbon emissions down by 50% by 2030. So imagine what a challenge that is if for most people they haven't even started, that is quite a stretch. And each year that goes by nearer towards 2030, the harder it is to achieve that reduction. And the other factor is that tourism accounts for 9% of global greenhouse gases. Short-term rentals is a part of tourism, of course. So we have a role to play. We are part of the problem, and we also need to be part of the solution as well. And the idea of EnviroRental is to give you those solutions. I just want to touch briefly on some survey data, and you probably have seen this before, but if not, you'll find the detail on one of the pages on EnviroRental. Booking.com and Expedia do regular surveys of the industry, and you'll find that data on our website. And here are just 4 highlights for you to think about. The first one is that consistently 80% of travelers say sustainability is important to them, and they're struggling to find places that are sustainable. You'll see that one at the end there at 45%. So that we know a lot of people would like to be more sustainable on their vacation, on their holiday, but they're struggling to do that because they're not finding the accommodation that suits their needs. So we've got a mismatch there, and that's a great opportunity for you to fill that gap. We also know that 43% from these surveys are actually willing to pay more sometimes for their sustainable stay. So that is another amazing opportunity for you. If you can differentiate yourself from your competitor, start to put in place some of these plans, then it may well be that you may be able to increase your rates. And absolutely, why wouldn't you want to do that? And also we know from that chart there that 60% of people have tried to stay or have chosen a sustainable stay in the last year. Now, these are surveys, of course. What people intend to do and what they actually do isn't always the same. There's sometimes a gap there. But if we can take these as some indicators, then it's a great opportunity for us to think about how we can build that into our business. So I want to go through now the advantages of being sustainable. And then these are the business advantages. What we try to do in EnviroRental is not talk constantly about the planet, saving the planet, we're all doomed, what are we going to do? We try to talk the business language and talk about the things that you will make sense to you and that you can take action on. So there are 10 now, and I'm going to talk you through them very briefly. The first one is differentiating yourself, and that is really just making yourself different from your competitor. If you've got somebody down the road who has a similar business to you, you both have the same amazing quality, the same price, the same view, the same pool, the same service. And there's one difference between you, and that is being sustainable. So if you can differentiate yourself from your competitor, then hopefully the traveler is going to look at your 2 properties and go, well, I'm going to go for this one because they're making a difference. They're trying to do something about being eco-friendly, supporting the community, being a good steward in their locality. So differentiation, I think, is important. Prominence is another one. The OTAs are doing a lot of work around sustainability, and there's a whole conversation to have around what Booking.com are doing. Mariah and I were talking about this earlier. All the big OTAs are bringing in badges around sustainability, as Mariah is, and as other people will be doing. And as it becomes much more prominent, then travelers can start to clearly see the difference between one property and another. And the properties which are more sustainable will, I think, get higher rankings in the future. Consumer demand, I've already talked about that and why that is important. So if we can see that consumers are looking to stay for sustainable stays and you can provide that, then there is a business advantage to you. Improving your profitability. This is an important one because there actually are many ways of actually saving money while being eco-friendly or sustainable. People often think, oh, being sustainable is going to cost me a lot of money. I'm going to have to invest in a lot of kits. That actually isn't the case. There are many ways of actually saving money and therefore improving your profitability. And we'll be covering those in future webinars and in future information that we'll be getting out to you. Mariah and I will be talking about how to get this regular information out to you and educate you and help you. Publicity is another one. I know from my own experience of running short-term rentals here in Italy for 20 years, if you can start to show that you're doing some funky stuff around sustainability, it's a great way of getting the journalists in and getting some publicity. Who doesn't like publicity? Getting yourself in the local newspaper or the national newspaper or getting yourself online. People find you, people book with you, and that is always great. future-proofing. This is around changes in legislation and in regulation. There's a lot happening in the EU, particularly around legislation and regulation that's going to start to impact on our industry, to make sure that we don't greenwash, to make sure that we present ourselves in a fair and equitable way. And there'll be other regulations that will come in locally that might impact on you, depending on where you are in the world, about what you can and cannot do. So getting ahead of the game, understanding that regulation and that legislation is a way of protecting your business and guarding it for the future. Staff attraction and retention. This is a really interesting one that's been coming up a lot recently. I've been reading about it, and that's the younger generations are much more attracted to working for organizations that are doing the right thing, who are doing something for the environment, who are giving back to their community. And this is a great way, therefore, of keeping the staff that you've got and attracting other staff who would like to work for a company like yours or an organization like yours who are doing good things. And I would really encourage you to just Google that, and you'll see some really interesting data and surveys. And more bookings. Obviously, I would say this, and it's certainly my experience, when you start to build your brand and be sustainable and talk about what you're doing and get the message out there through platforms like Mariah's, and also independently, you will attract customers that you wouldn't have otherwise got. But you will also, and that's certainly my experience, get a much higher direct booking rate and a much better repeat rate. So that's really great, because who wants to be paying commissions that they don't want to pay? So getting more bookings and getting repeat bookings and referrals is always brilliant. Guest experience, and this is where guests tend to leave better reviews, more nuanced reviews, more quality reviews, higher rated reviews. Again, if people go home, you've given them a great service, you've given them an amazing experience, but you've also added onto that the eco experience, and there's a lot to talk about what that would look like and how you deliver that. Then the guests go home with added value, and that's reflected often in the reviews that they will leave. And the final one, and the one I always really stress, and probably one of the most important, and we will come back to this many, many, many times, is building the eco status into your brand. You're probably all familiar with the term greenwashing, where somebody pretends that the impact on what they're doing is more important or more impactful than it is. But actually, there's another term that you're perhaps not so familiar with, and that's green hushing. And that's when you're doing some fantastic stuff, but you're not telling anybody, you're not talking about it, you're not blogging about it, you're not, writing about it, you haven't got a page on your website about it, you've not got a badge on Mariah's website. If you're doing great stuff, it's really important, it's vital that you promote that you honestly talk about what you're doing, that you don't exaggerate it, but that you are clear in your communication so people can find you, people can understand. And I would encourage you to do that on your website, through your OTAs, through your digital guide, through blogs, however you can get that message out. That's about building your brand, and that's really important. So just before I close, some key considerations I think that are important, just to summarize again. We need to be creating change, and you have an influence in that. Our role at EnviroRental is to help you, and we will do that with all the resources that we've got available. And in collaborating with Mariah, we'll be regularly getting information out to you, supporting you, guiding you, and answering your questions. But you also have an influence. When you start to do something and talk about it, you can create that ripple effect and create change within our industry, because that's absolutely what we need. Again, I talked earlier about business benefits over saving the planet. I think that's really important, and you need to find your own voice about where you pitch yourselves. But most people are interested in building their business and being successful. So if you're a property manager and you have influence over other people, they're likely to be interested in saying, in knowing what those business benefits are. What's in it for me? Why should I do it? So always remember those. I talked about them earlier, and there's more to be said about that. And then incentivizing your owners. Again, if you're a property manager, think about what you can do to motivate and incentivize your owners to take action, because you have a role to play there. Once you understand that role, then how can you get others to take on that? And there might be a number of things that you can do there that we should talk about. And eco badging. Mariah's talked about what she's doing and the different badges that she's going to be accepting on the site. There's lots out there, and she's talked about Kalia and she's talked about Sustonica, which are the two of the big prominent badges in our industry, and Swisstainability as well. There are others out there. I would encourage you to explore them, to understand them, and talk to the people promoting them, and get a badge, because it's one of the best ways that you can promote your business. And leading by example, as I said, it's really important to get that message out. What you do really does make a difference. So do get that message out there. I always, even though we're limited on time, I always try and talk about a few simple things that people can do. There are so many, they're all on our website. We'll talk about them again and again. And each time that we meet, we'll talk about different ones. But I just wanted to raise 5 today briefly. One is your energy tariff. The energy that you consume is one of the biggest parts of your carbon footprint. So think about your tariff, think about the supplier of your electricity, and talk to them and see if you can switch to a green energy tariff. If that's available in your area, it shouldn't cost you any more money. It's a quick change, an email, a letter, a click on a website, and you switch over to a renewable energy tariff. That means that the money you pay to your provider each month goes to support renewable energy. And that's a really massive thing that you can do. And I would encourage you to do that. It's usually very quick. And if it's available in your area, it's an amazing thing and will make a big difference without costing you any money. Second, single-use plastic. Everyone talks about this. We're all aware of how amazing plastic is. It's an incredible product, but it's also an insidious product. So try and think about how you can remove single-use plastic out of your properties. Think about the shampoo bottles in the bathroom. Think about the spray bottles in the kitchen. Think about what you can do to get those out and put single-use plastic in, which might be a shower dispenser on the wall that you just happen to refill, rather than the little bottles that people use once and then throw away. So we need plastic, we use plastic, it is important, it's difficult to eliminate it completely, but it takes some time to think about how you might be able to remove single-use plastic from your operations. And we've got a whole blog on that particular topic on our website, and many other topics. So I'd encourage you to go and read that. Think about how you can support a local nature project. When people talk about sustainability, they're often thinking about what they need to do in the home, and that's important. But Mariah touched on this earlier. It's also about supporting your community. Think about, what you can do to support a local nature project, a beach clearance, a clearance on a mountain, whatever is happening in your local area. Get involved, support them physically or support them financially, and put that as part of your plan. It's an important aspect. Tell your guests about it. They will appreciate it, and possibly they may want to get involved. Green hosting. This is one that often people overlook. And this, again, is super simple. And if you go to our website, go to the homepage, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see lots of information about that. In essence, what it is if you think about it, we often talk about flying as being really bad for the world. And of course, it isn't great. But did you know that the internet has about the same carbon footprint, around 4% of global greenhouse gases, as flying? So what can we do to reduce our carbon footprint? Well, one thing is you talk to your host provider who manages your server, and check that they're running their servers on green energy. You go to a website, you'll find the link at the bottom of our homepage. You plug in your URL, plug in or anybody's URL, and you will instantly be told whether your servers are being run on green energy. If you get the green smiley face and it's yes, you get a little badge for free. You can put it on your website, and you've done one more step. And hopefully, with a bit of luck, you'll already be there. If it comes down as the thumbs down, then talk to your provider and ask them when are they going to be moving over to a green energy tariff. They're small steps, but they add up to making a difference. You'll find all the information on our website, so don't worry, but it's a really important action. And then finally, an eco badge. We keep coming back to this because this is super important. And this is why Mariah is passionate about introducing this into Smiling House and Villa Tracker, because it's so important that you can differentiate yourself. And once you apply for a badge and are qualified for a badge, then you're on a program. You'll start to learn about the things that you've already done that qualify, and you'll also learn about the things that you haven't yet done, and you'll be encouraged to take some more steps when you're ready, and it's at a good time for your business and for your travelers. So an eco badge is super important, and I really would encourage all of you to think about that and look at the badges that Mariah has been recommending and others, and think about how you can apply. And bonus at the bottom there, branding. I've talked about that already, but super important to keep branding. Talk about what you're doing, write about what you're doing. Do not keep that quiet. Really, really important. And finally, before I finish and we take questions, I just wanted to let people know that we do have a Scale Green conference taking place on the 23rd of April. EnviroRental is one of the co-organisers of it. This is the first in our industry for 100 property managers. So if you are going to be in London on the 23rd of April, we'd encourage you to come along, get a ticket, and we will be talking solely about sustainability and short-term rentals. But much more than that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the attendees on a journey, not just on that day, but we're going to be supporting them after that day so that they can really plan their sustainable journey. Conferences are great, but often you walk away and you've got lots of ideas in your head, and sometimes you'll apply them, sometimes you won't. With this conference, we're going to be coaching you and supporting you moving forward as you plan your journey. So Scale Green on the 23rd of April. It's the day of the day before the Short Stay Summit, if any of you are attending that. And in the evening on the 23rd, there's also the Shortsy Awards, which they were supposed to be announcing some shortlists today. I don't know if that's even happened. So take a look, Scale Green, you'll find us online, and encourage you to come along if you can. So that is it from me. I'd like to thank you very much and open up to questions.
Yeah, so Bob, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the tons of knowledge and that you shared with us today. I see also a lot of people join us from more places in the world, so you can also ping it in the chat alongside your question where you're from. Just before we start with the questions, I just want to highlight two more behind the scenes of Smiling House. We have two participants here in this great webinar today. One of them is Daniel, and one of them is Avi. Daniel is from Footprint Intelligence, and Avi is from CodePan, both busy with AI. We believe that with the action that Smiling House Group is taking towards working with these two great companies and two great people, Avi is based between Berlin and Mallorca, and Daniel is based in Germany. We going together with artificial intelligence touch one of the most natural parts of humanity, where we will be able to use data and to show within data how to save on energy, how to compare waste of energy between, for example, between us and between big hotels. People will be able to use the data that we're about to share, not only to learn which properties are going to be more sustainable, but also which properties and stays allow them to save waste and to save carbon waste and energy waste elsewhere in other alternatives. So we very, very happy that you all joined here today. Please shoot your questions. I saw before that some of the question was Bob, have you tested your daily rates against others? And what is meant to be a greenwash? I think that you answered already. So maybe you want to answer this one, Bob, and then I'm happy if anybody has a question for me as well.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you're talking about the rates that we charge here in Italy on our properties, absolutely. We've put ourselves in the upper quartile of comparable properties because we know that we can charge that. So definitely it's worth it when you start to build sustainability into your business and you start to see the success that's good for your business, that's good for the customer, and is good for the client. You can raise your rates, and we have consistently over the years. And greenwashing, I think I've answered it, but yes, just to repeat, I think if greenwashing is really what we don't want in the industry, it's really bad, and that's where you explain or overemphasize the impacts of what you're doing. You exaggerate it. We do not want to see that exaggeration. Be honest and open about what you're doing. Don't pretend that you're doing more, but don't hide things that you are doing, and publicize that. And also, I would say there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, I've done these 5 things, and my plan in the next year is to do another 2. Putting that out, communicating that, what you're going to do is fine, as long as you don't pretend that you've already done it. Otherwise, that would be greenwashing. Other questions? We'd love to hear your questions. You can speak them, turn on your video, or write them in the chat. This is a great opportunity. You've got the wonderful Mariah here waiting to answer your questions. Did what we said make sense? Did you understand it? Do you agree with it? Do you have any challenges?
May I ask my question right here?
Yes, of course. Hello.
Oh, great. Hi. Thank you both for this amazing webinar. First of all, it was really great to hear and hear also the various inputs about greenwashing, green hushing. I really liked your elaboration, Bob, on that. I would have one particular question to Mariah, which is, you said that particularly in the luxury industry or in the luxury segment, sustainability is valued a lot. Could you tell us one example of one client or one case study where this came forward, and how are you perceiving that trend lately in this space?
Sure. So we start to recognize the need of recognition of sustainable properties in the luxury segment already a few years back, where we start to have this kind of VIPs that until today I'm not allowed to share their name because I signed a kind of an NDA. And this lady, which is a famous actress, as much as I can say, wanted all the linens and all the products, starting from the hand wash and up to the shampoo and up to the dishwasher tablets, to be completely green, completely proved to be made, with cotton or with materials that can be, vanish in nature. She gave us the list of so many things that she wanted in the house that we actually had to invest few thousands of Swiss francs to make sure that we can be ready for this guest. And then we understood that this guest is actually educating us for some needs and for some standards. So some people probably living according to. And we as hosts need to be able to provide them as well. Other things is education. I see that David was joining here as well. And David is headmaster of an international school here in Switzerland, in Gstaad, with people, the parents that can afford the highest education in the world, sending their kids to this school. And even as a school, people want to know what their kids learning about sustainability, how or what kind of an activity people doing in their surroundings. So of course, hospitality and luxury hospitality has to be the top of it. People coming to luxury properties around the globe to feel, first of all, at home, and to fill in their standards, but also to learn new things, also to be amazed, also to get to a new standards. So we have the great opportunity as host, as a great host, and especially I think for travelers who are evaluating it as luxury travelers, to be in a way also responsible for education. And don't forget that by any examples that that Bob is sharing, and this community of knowledge is learning, we're learning one from another. And if anybody have here also some examples to share, it will be wonderful. And at the same time, thanks for the question, Daniel. I am very excited about working with you and Avi about what you're doing. You want to say in one word, really in a very short, so we'll have another place for another question, just what you're going to do, what you're doing?
Word is tough, but we are helping to analyze carbon emissions, everything around ESG, and also how much you can potentially save. For example, with choosing allocation from Smiling House versus the benchmark, and this is kind of the avoided emissions a user can have, or a guest can have with every stay, which is very exciting.
That's great. So thank you, Daniel. We'll come back to them once the things will be alive, and not only a project, you know, that we're working on, but it was good already to share what's happening behind the scenes. Anybody, are you following the question, Bob?
I am, yeah. Just to add something to something that Daniel just said then, actually, I must start to put it in my presentations, but it's very new, we just launched this week, which is the marketplace, which is something that Amit is responsible for. And this is because we've been getting a lot of questions from people when they read our blogs or case studies, and they want to be recommended to a particular product or service in our industry around sustainability. So we've now launched the marketplace. We're starting small, but trying to build up each week. And this is where you will find the products and the services in our industry which have a sustainability element to them. So something that Daniel might want to take a look at himself for his company footprint. But this is where you should be able to go and find the companies who are doing the good things. So do take a look. It's called the Marketplace. It's on our website.
Can you highlight
there's
the
a question.
What is the status with the platform Eco B&B?
Sorry, Eco B&B. Yeah, so I don't see the question, but Eco B&B are a specialist OTA dealing only with eco-friendly properties. They're mainly based in Europe, but they are slightly starting to spread out. They are excellent. I register my own property with them and get quite a few customers each year via Eco B&B. They're a really friendly Italian couple who set it up. So I would encourage you to take a look at that.
Great. I want to just to tell the audience here
Bob,
about.
I appreciate that. Thank you for answering that. Being in the U.S., I was looking at that as well.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe it's there now. Thank you. Sorry, Mariah, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to share with the great audience, the participant that we have right now, also the news, the kind of news that we saw yesterday coming from booking.com that will drop most of their what called sustainable or eco-friendly properties. They had until now about 500,000 of them, and because of what been considered to be not credited accreditation, under accreditation properties, they will drop to 16,500 only. So we are here to encourage you to join. Lizzie, you can join the Eco B2B B&B if your property is luxurious and standing our criteria, of course. And that was the whole thing. You're welcome to offer it also to Smiling House and Villa Tracker, just for you know, for everybody's knowledge. I will share the link to join us. We have some criteria that we considering before before the sustainability part, which has to do with the property itself and how luxurious it is. You can check it out in the link that I just shared right now. But what I want to point in the example of Booking.com, once you are as hosts, as property managers, as homeowners, as guests, looking and checking, make sure that the right certificate is there. Make sure that your standardization about what you're expecting to be part of your experience, authentic experience, that you're expecting to have once traveling, is there also when it's come to sustainability. But don't, and this is one message from me to all the hosts around here, or hotelier or whatever, don't join it just because it's a trend. Please join it as a value, because it takes some time and effort to learn and to go through this accreditation, but it's worth it. It's worth it like anything else that you're doing out of your values, and you want to share this value with others, to recognize. And like Bob mentioned, this by itself is something that people will be happy to resonate with, to pay for, and to summarize it as a great experience. People will celebrate the effort that you put into your property, into your hospitality journey, by choosing you, if they will recognize you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to definitely agree with that statement. That's so important. Yeah, do it because you believe in it and because it's right for your business. We're almost out of time. There was a question about Airbnb and VRBO and about whether they're going to be introducing badges and recognizing properties and eco badges. VRBO are a little bit behind Booking.com. They are going to be introducing it. I suspect it might be another year before we get there. Airbnb have, as far as I'm aware, have no plans to do so, or if they are, they're keeping them very much under their hat. They're very reluctant to say much publicly about their policies. So that's my polite answer on that one. Have we missed any questions? Has anybody, Amit will tell us if there's anything been asked that we haven't covered, because we're almost out of time. We try to stick to an hour if we can.
My kids just sent me a message, what's there for dinner? So I really want to thank everybody that joined us today. This was really great webinar. It was great also working towards this webinar, inviting you all. It's all part of our journey. Thank you for joining it. And this is where your journey is actually starting. Each one in his own country, in his own work, in his own journey. We welcome you to discover the collaboration between Smiling House and EnviroRental, to learn, to educate yourself as a guest, as a homeowner, as a property manager. Work towards this certificate, or bring us to the knowledge of other companies that can give these certificates. We'll be happy to display you after you've been through this journey. There's tons of knowledge. What Bob just revealed today was so small. And I want to also very, very much to thank for the employees of Smiling House and Villa Tracker and Triangle that been here today, all the Smiling House group members. I believe that everything that we're doing have to be across our community, across our working team, across our families. We are busy here also with educating something new in the world. And thank you so much for being part of this effort, and pay it forward.
Okay, super. Thank you, Mariah, for your leadership there. And I do encourage people to go to the page on Smiling House and check out in detail a lot of the things that Mariah has talked about today. I'd like to thank Amit for organizing this webinar. There's a lot of work goes into these things, so really appreciate that. Please go to envirorental.earth and check us out. Everything on the website is free. And we will be doing more of these webinars and other ways of educating you. So please stay in touch and let us know your questions. Have a great evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. And thank you all so much. Take care all.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Bye-bye.